Good morning, everybody. It's time for the experience live with Russ and Scott. Here we go.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home team of Keller Williams and Laura Gillette. For all your real estate needs, go to teamgillette.com. And H&R Block of Albany, Corvallis, Lebanon, and Kaiser. For more information on your tax preparation needs, call 541-928-6432. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're here. It's another Wednesday. The Experience live with Russ and Scott. How's it going, Scott?
I tell you, it's December 1st. So look, it's got the little Christmas scene up.
Hey, there you go.
Started playing Christmas music. How about you?
There you go. Well, it's amazing that it's already December 1st. First of all, I'm blown away. Second of all, yes, I have finished the outdoor lights on the bushes and the side of the house. Last night I got the wreaths up. We do quite a outdoor display. So we're pretty much the shining beacon in our neighborhood, and we love that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, we're gonna actually this weekend is my wife's and my 34th anniversary. We're going away for our annual wonderful getaway for the weekend. It's going to be amazing. And then we get our tree on the way home.
34 years. Congratulations. That is a good start.
Thank you. Yes, it's a good start. Still got another 34 to go, but yeah.
at least. Yeah.
What are you up to this week, Scott?
Well, it's been a great week. Lots of Amazon stuff. Been doing Amazon product stuff and author interviews. So yesterday was Giving Tuesday. So we did my wife co-hosted with me as we did for Giving Tuesday. We interviewed a number of authors from Alt Authors, and they are a nonprofit that curates books on dementia and Alzheimer's stories. And I know that's something that you've been supporting for a long time with the walks and so forth. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I did tune in to part of what you were doing yesterday. In the midst of crazy days, I really like to support what you're doing. And yes, Alzheimer's Association, obviously very near and dear to my heart. My dad had dementia at the end of his life, and my mom has Alzheimer's. So I deal with that all the time and love to help the Alzheimer's Association do that every year. So such a great cause for us to, to be part of.
Yeah, and so the live video, it's new to groups like that, but they did really good. We had quite a number of folks come through, but just on the live video thing, for a moment, I just want to say that I know that for you and I, we're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the experience, and so we'll have a special show for that. But one of the things that we found that both you and I have found is that the experience and the live video, the shows that you're doing, Russ Reels and your Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie, and so forth, have been the best draws for customers for getting into our businesses, best business growth tool. And so you and I want to take what we've learned and help other businesses as well.
That's right. That's right. This whole thing that we started, the experience, which is talking about the experience of life, but it's really a live mastermind experience. And we want to take that into this realm of live streaming video, and the possibilities are tremendous for your business. Yesterday was my first produced show. Well, actually, it's my second, because I did one for my church too, but it's my second produced show that I wasn't in, actually. Just producing in the background for a client. It was amazing. And it gives them that peace of mind to be able to do what they want to do. And they don't have to worry about all the nuts and bolts with that. And then I can teach them along the way. So yeah, we really want to talk more about that. If you guys are interested in that, please reach out to Scott and I, and I'll get our addresses ticking along the bottom as the show gets going here. And you can email us or just contact us anyway through social media.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that another time. But we've got great guests today, waiting on in the wings.
Yes, we do. We're going to start. It's always ladies first. And Rosalinde is amazing. She and I have become friends and have had some amazing conversations. She's been on Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie too. And so, yeah, she's amazing. We're going to bring her in first this morning. Here she is, Rosalinde.
Yeah, with the cymbal crash there, Roslyn.
The crowd goes wild.
Nice. Good morning.
Yes. Straight off the Grammys or Emmys, right?
Yeah, right. Straight off. Fresh.
There you go.
So congratulations, 34 years. Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you. I've been blessed that she's put up with me for 34 years. And I definitely, when they say I married way up, that's the understatement of the year. I have a beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful, loving wife who really puts up with me, and it's amazing. And we always do make it a point to get away. I think that's important in a marriage.
That's important, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank
and
you.
I
not to one up Russ, but I'm going to one up Russ.
Oh, okay.
Because this year in August, my wife and I celebrated 37. So Russ he's trying to catch up.
Ooh,
there you go.
Wow, 37.
Someday.
You look like a baby. What's going on with that?
You're only as old as you act.
That's correct.
Yes. So, hey, Rosalinde, I know so much about you and all the great things you're doing, but can you give our viewers a little snapshot into the life and times of Roslyn Rosado and all that you're doing?
Okay, so I am the CEO and of Your Launchpad, a founder of Your Launchpad, a place where business professionals, creatives, leaders go when they find themselves like they're stuck or they're facing some kind of uncertainty. That could be whether they're having, and we are in uncertain times, so this is just perfect. Whether it's a difficult conversation having with a coworker, a friend, a boss, considering a job transition, a new position. As a personal and career coach, I provide them that space where they can navigate what that next step is through individual and group coaching. And even though we are in uncertain times, I have clients who sustain their positive results through job promotions, entrepreneurship, dream jobs. So even though we are in this space, this is still happening.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing through the whole coaching experience. You have quite a background, actually. Tell us a little bit more about your background, because it's very interesting.
I come from the entertainment world, being an actor for I would say plenty of decades, because I started as a child, and through finding myself my next gig, I've been on prime time. I've been commercials, voiceovers, all sorts. So I've run the gamut through the theater, and waiting for the next gig, I was always in the business world. So I kept my foot into the business world, and I became like this professional temp. And I worked for like Fortune 500 companies. I did sales and marketing. I did accounting. I've done, um, uh, uh, many industries, hospitality, you name it. I think I've done it. So it's like that. It's the having 100 jobs in so many industries. I've done it, and I've seen quite a few stories in my time.
Well, and that gives you like a really well-rounded,
It's a diversity of experience.
yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
you're able to share that with people. So Scott,
Yeah, it's interesting when you go through a number of different careers like that to find. But what's the threads that ties it together? Because from the outside, I know that people will say, "Well, Rosalind, how does that tie together?" But I know you know what ties it.
Well, my vantage point of being in all these different industries and professions, and pivoting so many times, I have that kind of experience of that kind of uncertainty. I've
Mm.
lived all of those things. Coming from the entertainment world, you do have those transferable skills. You need to have that kind of adaptability, the flexibility. You need to have all these things because that's what people are looking for now. It's not just the hard skills,
Hmm.
it's the soft skills, the social skills, in terms of handling a team, handling a department. So I have been in all those forums. So there is that thread that I carry in each and everything that I do.
Hmm.
well, I think it's amazing because you said that the soft skills, the team skills, when you go into anything, it's always important to be looking at that because I'm a true believer. I always say it that we're better together, and collaborating and working with people in whatever industry you're in and whatever job you're in is so important. And working with people instead of against people. I think the old competitive, um, uh, you know. Standby in business was I'm going to beat the next guy. I'm going to climb higher than the next guy. And today it's starting to be more like, hey, let's work together and let's all rise together because that's really what it's all about. And you probably deal with some of that in your group coaching too.
Absolutely. In one of my group coaching sessions, I did have someone who was having a problem with an outside contractor. And, you have to start from a place of curiosity. What is it that they're needing? Not just what you're needing, but what is it that they're needing? And it's not just a want, but it's a need, because when people do things, their actions really are coming from some kind of need that is unmet. And so just coming from the place where, let me just find out exactly what it is that I can do that can fulfill that need, and then vice versa.
Yeah. I think that is exactly it. Looking for the needs that people have. And another great individual that is looking to the needs of others. And we have with us today, Christopher Filipiak is in the house. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning,
Hey,
Russ
good
and
morning,
Scott.
Christopher. I
What a
love
great
your background.
sunrise. Yeah,
I love. I know that's just perpetual, beautiful.
there it is. There it is. Well, listen, you are obviously bright and sunny this morning already, and we appreciate you being on today. Give everybody a little snapshot of the life and times of Christopher.
East Coast time, baby.
Not quite as early, yeah.
Thanks for waking up early to have
Yeah,
this
really.
with me. Oh, it's really interesting. It's a really interesting time for business, and when you are a entrepreneur, a founder, a CEO who's out there with a purpose and a mission, and you desire to not only improve your own life, but improve the lives of your community and those around you. Your business really comes down to a couple of things, which is making sales and helping your clients. And the core of making sales is about creating conversations, real conversations with real people, and then having powerful conversations. And when Rosalind talks about the soft skills, people are so out of touch today with money and communication, and being willing to be vulnerable and understand who they are at the core. And those type of things really get in the way of creating what we want to do in our lifetime. You talk about the competitive plane versus the creative plane, Russ,
Yeah.
right? And when you're coming from a creative energy and you can stand in the truth and you're comfortable talking about those topics, like money is a great one, and it's the wheelhouse I'm in as a sales consultant and coach. And it's really the space where those CEOs and founders pay me to build sales ready organizations, so they can really be comfortable making those sales and really coming at their business and their mission from that place of service. So that's really, when I think about the message that I want to share, it's really like this idea of being comfortable growing your business, working with others, exchanging money to create more life and help more people. And we can talk about it more, but it's this idea and this mission that I have about making sales synonymous with love.
Well,
I
I
love
think,
that. I love that, Christopher. We met when you were a guest on the Business Builder Throwdown. I was
Mhm.
moderating between Holly and Matt, and the insight that you brought onto sales, I knew you'd be the perfect guest here on the experience, because there's so many businesses and business owners, those of us like me and Russ, and uh, I always found the heaviest piece of equipment in any office is the phone receiver, right? I mean, that is because people are uncomfortable. They just don't,
Yeah.
they'll take powdered toner and make a little cone and try to feed it into reload the cartridge rather than make a sales call. I mean, they'll do the messiest jobs. They'll clean toilets before making sales calls.
Well, you
And
look at
that's where you come in.
yeah, I mean, you think about all of the, I know all of the problems that we have as a society, and I'm only here to help solve some of them. And that's the beauty of like this forum, where we can help each other move each other's missions forward, because in our lifetime we don't have the ability to do it all ourselves. But there's so much of what we struggle with as business owners, as community, as society, as parents, is really this ability to communicate from like a place of gratitude and a place of groundedness and truth, right? And if you can do the inner work combined with the what I think about like as a tangible or external skill set around communication, then you can have real conversations with people that move things forward. And then you're not scared to pick up the phone. Like there's literally nothing scary about like picking up a phone, right? Like it's just all internal stories and beliefs and patterns.
What I like about that, Christopher, that you mentioned, being a daughter of a business owner, that we build community. When we help each other, and you are, I had a perfect example from my father. He was always grateful for whatever it was, just something really tiny, and people looked at him like he was like the candy store man. He was the candy store man, and he was, because he had those soft skills, because he could communicate from a 5-year-old to an adult. And with that, if you have more businesses that are like that, you start building that community and you start relying on each other.
well, I couldn't agree more with that, Rosalind, because I am all about building community, and that's one big plus of getting to know both of you, because I think all of us, no matter how close of a relation our businesses are, can lift each other up, build each other up, help promote and drive each other. And one thing you said a while back, Christopher, was at the core of what you're all about. When you're talking soft skills, you're talking building community. It's amazing how many people don't have the basic idea of what their purpose or why is in their life, why they move forward every day, what they're all about at the core of their own inner self. And it's amazing. Today, I get to do a keynote to some high school students at a meeting, and it's great to be able to talk to young people and try to drive home, getting to know who you are, what you're all about, what you want to do with your life now when you're young, because I'll bet you both find that most people later in life at our ages still have no idea what they're really all about. What do you think about that, Chris?
Yeah, it's really interesting. And, I teach sales operations, and I come from a engineering background at Ford Motor Company, where I set up processes for, billion-dollar manufacturing plants, and the integration of human and machine systems. And sales is no different, right? There's both the technical aspect, and then there's also the human aspect. And I think what's really, really important is we're not getting clarity on what you want, right, is something that's really difficult. And it's one of the reasons why it's hard to pick up the phone, Scott, because if you don't know what your intention is, like, are you picking up the phone to make a sale? Are you picking up the phone to try to get something? Or you be picking up the phone to try to be helpful, right? And so those type of little inconsistencies where you're uncertain about what you're actually doing, right, happens throughout our lifetime. And as little young children, we're never taught that it's okay to want what we want. Like, there's a lot of, like, you only get what you need, right? Like, you can't have that. There's all these patterns that prevent us as adults and through our entire lifetime about really knowing what we want. And then people think, oh, it's hard to find our mission. It's hard to find, like, my purpose. I don't know what it is. I have to figure it all out. And all that's just it's just bullshit, man. Like, we know what we want. We're just too afraid to.
I use the phrase, Christopher, if you can't
Roslyn.
perceive it, you can't achieve it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And that's the bottom line. If you cannot see what that vision is, if you cannot be clear about it, then it's not going to manifest. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I think clarity is so important. You both are exactly right, because it's just a matter of really, getting down what the reason is. And, a lot of things, I did a workshop a while back called Turn Cold Calling into Making Friends. And it's about that exact thing. It's about picking up the phone and what is your real intention? What should your real intention be? And it's all about building community and building people instead of cramming sales down people's throats. Right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just, I love that phrase, that the title of that workshop, right? Turning cold calling into making friends. It makes it, as Christopher was saying, not as scary to reach out. And whether it's through email or phone or face-to-face, you don't have to be afraid. If you just say, look, I'm just going to go make friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why, to me, again, talking about what I'm doing later today, I love speaking to young people, because I think, and I think in our discussion here, you'd all agree, young people need more clarity. They need more direction. And if they get that solid when they're young, the sky's the limit. It's amazing. I think to myself, if I would have been doing what I'm doing now when I was 18 years old, I would be a multimillionaire 15 times over. I would, just because, and it's not about the money. I just mean there was so much possibility that I didn't see. I kind of went through your standard, go to college. This is what you do. This is how you do it, routine in the corporate world. And I just think it's amazing.
And that's a good point, Russ, that you brought up. We're conditioned to go to college, to do, and there's trades that people are not doing, the electricians, plumbing, there are things, HVAC, there are things that people need, and kids are not exposed to any of that. I don't know if you remember when we had that in high school. It was economics. It was what was it called, the class where you kind of discovered, now they have, at least at my son's school, they have a career day. So they have people come in and discuss what they do, which I think that's wonderful, because you don't know what the possibilities are unless they're in front of you, unless you see them.
You know, I was working with a group called Young Entrepreneurs Business Week, and think of it as business camp for high school students. Now, at a period of time, I was doing social media management, and so I shared this graphic, a picture of me, 1967, the little studio shot, shorts, buzz cut, and I put a thought bubble out of my head, and I said, like most little kids in 1967, I dreamt of growing up to be a social media manager, right? And so, but telling these high school students, I said, look, by the time you graduate with high school, whether you go to college, trade school, whatever it is, I said, by the time you're 25, whatever job that you're doing, it probably doesn't exist yet. And even though these children are growing up in a world where not only do they not know what it's like to not live without cell phones, they don't know what cell phones with buttons are. And it still blows
have you seen the YouTube video with they put the landline phone in front of like these kids, and they did not know what it was, and they looked at it, they kind of like poked it, and because they didn't know what they only know the cell phones, they didn't know what the landline looked like.
Yeah, and even though they're growing up in this environment, they still cannot perceive that when they're 25, the job that they're doing doesn't exist today.
Yeah. And how spoiled are we nowadays? Back when I used to watch Star Trek, and they would all these automated things I thought were so automated, and then they would talk to the computers, and now, it's just like, hey Siri, it's your, what you're doing immediately, even though Siri's really stupid, by the way. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's okay. You just said that you just activated people's phones.
Yes, I turned my phone
world.
off. Yeah. Actually, I got to be careful because I have a MacBook, and actually Siri has activated while I've been on a live show via something I've said. And so it started talking on the live show. I'm like, no, stop, click. So yeah, anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, it's interesting because we went to a friend's house the other day too, and they have Alexa, and they literally have to turn Alexa off sometimes because it is almost a privacy invasion, all the things that Alexa can do. And they told us, don't worry, we're not going to have Alexa on when you come over. I said, well, I don't even hardly know what Alexa does. So, but yeah, anyway, this is what I think is truly amazing. We go back to talking about young people, and I think today, I have been more and more driven. Scott, you allowed me to speak to one of the groups actually at our alma mater, Oregon State, because you weren't able to one time. I went in and subbed in for you. Such a great thing to be able to speak into their lives, and then also be able to help people in our generation now that are still trying to figure it out. And that's what a blessing I think both of you are, with all that you're doing, with your coaching, with your sales training, with all that's going on. And I just appreciate you both so much. I have to be the bad guy and wrap the show up because time is drawing to a close. But yeah, I know we have the good cop, bad cop, and I'm always a bad cop. So anyway,
good host, bad host.
So again, we're going to go ladies first. Rosalinde, give everybody last word, and then how did they get in touch with you?
Last word is if you can't achieve it, if you can't perceive it, you can't achieve it. You can't achieve it, you can't perceive it.
That's excellent. And if people want to get in touch with you for more of your fabulous,
they could either through LinkedIn messaging or Rosalinde at your launchpad. That's launchpad.com.
Perfect. We'll have all that in the show notes. It's probably already there, but if it's not, it will appear. And
and thank you for having me on, Scott and Russ. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's just so fabulous. Love to have you here.
We appreciate you so much. Christopher, you're up.
All right. Thanks, Russ. Yeah, really enjoyed the conversation. I like that. I really think, what struck me as I listened to everyone, I like how it went back to like children as an example of what we're all seeking and what we're all looking for in our life. And I think ultimately that, allowing your children, I have four kids myself, helping your children know that it's okay to be who they are, and help teach them to be independent and creatively express themselves, right? Which is what most adults want too. And so help your children get what they want, and what's true for them, and don't take on don't project your own needs onto your kiddos, because then Roslyn and I have to sort you out when you're much older. So yeah, so that
It's so
so
true.
so
And
true.
there's always a story somewhere.
Absolutely.
True.
It's part of the human experience, though.
Yeah.
So like we joke, but like everyone needs help. It's one of the reasons why I have high level support in my business. The way to get in touch with me is on LinkedIn, Christopher Filipiak, and that's also my website, christopherfilipiak.com. You can find me in either of those places.
Awesome. That is so great. I was
Yeah.
going to say on that, Christopher, that, going back to children, I think of my two children who are now not children, 31 and 28.
They're
But I
still your
think of,
children.
yeah, that's true. They are, but still my babies, still my little princess. Anyway, they are, you take a look at that, and I worked my life to make them better than me. And
Mhm.
I think when we transfer that over to the whole we're better together philosophy and helping to lift other people up, if we make people better, it always makes us better. And I think that when we're really trying to help people out instead of tear people down, it makes us such a much better world, but it makes us better people. And so I appreciate both of you being here today.
And
And
Christopher, I want to throw one quick story in too,
Yeah, man.
because as you were talking about letting our kids know, right? It's okay to be who you are.
yeah,
I was volunteering doing the high school mock interviews, right? Which I prefer to call them practice interviews.
right.
And so there's hundreds of students coming through, and a lot of folks from the business community there. We're doing these interviews and giving them critiques, right? About how they're dressed and how they present themselves and their handshake and eye contact and all of those types of things. So it's the typical business community that you'd expect. A lot of guys in suits and ties, and a lot of women in skirts and dresses doing the interviews. So in comes one of the students, and she is, for lack of a better word, dressed like a gypsy, and very flowing, very bright and bold. And she's got a purse that's like a cat, and the tail is the strap that comes around, and very severe makeup. And I could hear some of the other interviewers saying, well, when you come to an interview, you should dress this way. You should wear your makeup this way. She came down and sat with me. And as I talked to her, she was in high school. She was like a junior in high school. She was volunteering at a women's shelter, cleaning, sweeping floors and cleaning and doing a thing. This was her heart. Her heart was to be in social service. And her heart wasn't to be a banker or an attorney or whatever. And so when you looked at who she was representing who she was when she came to that interview. And I was happy to be able to tell her, I am glad you came the way you are, the way you want to be. You're representing who you are. Don't listen to these other people who are saying you have to fit into this cookie cutter mold.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, right person, wrong container.
Right.
Yeah, that's just not her people. It's
No.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great story, Scott. If I'm sure that everyone had the eyebrows go up and looked at her. You can't judge. You can't. You have to wait. That's why I always tell people, take a deep breath before you speak, because you don't know.
And use these.
That's right. Listen.
Well, and to wrap that up, I would say that is all 100%. I agree with that, and that it's all listening to others before making judgments and pushing people into the box we think they should be in. And I think that is so critical. My wife's in education, and I know she is fabulous at that. And people are people, and there's so many people nowadays. I tell, scrap college. That's not what you want. this is where you're going. Put your
Mhm.
efforts into the training for what you want to do. It's a whole new world, and people need to really be who they are. So authenticity is very important. Anyway,
Word of the
listen,
day.
that's it. So thank you both, man. I really appreciate you both so much. This has been amazing. So thank you,
Thank
and
you.
you
Happy
bet.
holidays.
Yeah. Woo! Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yay.
There you go. So listen, we'll talk to you both soon. Hang tight. We're going to send you to the green room. We'll talk to you in just a minute.
Best of the season. All
There you
right.
go. There you
So
go.
we're
I hit the wrong button again. There you go. You think I'd have this
Oh,
down
that's
by now?
great.
All of a sudden, I looked at Christopher on the screen all by himself. I thought, no, that's not the right button.
Well, he can close out the show.
There you go. That would kind of
What
go, oh no.
what fun having Rosalind and Christopher today, and a great discussion. So we'll just say the word of the day is authenticity.
Yes. Well, that's true. And I want to go back to what you said at the beginning of the show. Authenticity and purpose in your life and all that you're
Mhm.
doing, everybody watching, is so critical. And Scott and I want to help you with that. If you are interested in live streaming or building community through the wonderful technology that we have now,
Yeah.
it's a great place to come together. We're going to actually have we have a mastermind that's actually about supporting, helping
Mhm.
others, and building them in this area. We're going to concentrate specifically on that. And so we really, really want you to be part of that. So if you do, reach out to Scott or I. Our information has been ticking along the bottom of the screen, and you can get a hold of each of us many different ways.
That's
So I
right.
appreciate that. Yeah.
So Russ, what have you got coming on the next week or so?
Well, it's been crazy busy, and I love what's going on. God has really blessed me in my business this year, and so I'm so appreciative, so thankful. And today I'm really excited. I got a bunch of meetings this morning, client meetings, and then I'm going to do that keynote this afternoon to the high school students. Super
Excellent.
excited about that. And so got that going on. And they got, of course, marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then the all-star cast at noon on Russ Reels Live. Got Usama, Inger, Aya. It's coming to me. More people, Jay and Elizabeth. There you go. Amazing people. That's going to be tomorrow. We're going to have an inspiration injection into your Thursday at 12,
Nice.
12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's really what I got going. And then getting away Friday, off with my wife for a
There you
3-day
go.
weekend. There you
Yeah,
go.
unplug and just spend time with your wife. That'll be wonderful.
Yeah. How about
So
you, Scott? I know you got a lot more author interviews coming up.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that I'm excited about is we just released a joint publication on Amazon, Isolation, the Health and Wellness Business Killer. And so that is now available on Amazon. It's a publication that was jointly written by myself, Matt Rouse, and Holly Jean Jackson, all of the Business Builder Throwdown. So that is now available. And even though it's really directed toward health and wellness business owners, it's great for any business owner. And then we've got live author interviews on Amazon today, this afternoon, to Pacific time, Emily Harmon. Tomorrow it's Alexia Bartholomew, and on Friday, Charlotte Canyon. So we are going to have a busy time on Amazon Live.
You do. I mean, you are a busy guy. When I grow up, I want to be like Scott. So.
I don't know, Russ. You've got so much going. Well, everyone's busy, right?
I know.
So
Well,
it's wonderful.
And the beautiful thing is we can come together as a community. We can help and support each other, lift each other up, and do amazing things like our guest did today. So we just want to thank you all for being with us today. And don't forget, every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are here without fail for you, to build you up, lift you up, talk about the experience of life and a true mastermind experience. Again, don't forget, if you want more information on our mastermind outside of this show, talking about live streaming and technology, we'd love to help you out and how you can build community through that and help your business. And I think that's it. I think I just have one last thing to say for Scott and I. Yeah! There you go. Until we see you again, have a great day and a great life.
And enjoy the experience.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.